capabilities and then go put their dreams into action. We move towards our dominant thought. The rewards for our effort can be powerful. Don't you just marvel at the human being, the miracle of us? God put a lot of herself into creating us. But God doesn't need anything. It doesn't matter to God if we pray. It matters to us that we pray. Emerson wrote, if prayer is anything, it is high-level creative thinking. It's our aligning our thoughts with the willingness of the universe. Every time you make an effort to meet the world with a positive thought, you set yourself free from the inevitable negative impact that a negative thought will have. So I ask you to stop. Identify an example of practicing putting an idea into action that has moved you along your freedom trail. We've touched on 3, open-mindedness, curiosity, putting ideas into action, and now for the 4th. There are laws at play. Natural and spiritual laws must be understood and used. I was completing a 100-mile fundraising bicycle ride, contemplating the fundamental laws of thermodynamics. Yes, energy is never lost, it just changes states. You see, there were hundreds of cyclists pumping their way around Lake Tahoe. That includes 2 mountain climbs that are just under 1,000 feet. I wondered where all the pumping energy was going. All the mental energy, all the emotional energy. Have a lot of time to think when you're pedaling 100 miles. When we cast about for an idea and then say, I've got it, where did it come from? Einstein would say of his theories and solutions, I don't know, it just came to me. You see, there's only one mind. So I contemplate the energy of all those cyclists, each of whom not only committed to make the ride, but to raise thousands of dollars each for this cause. And I asked, what if all this cycling energy, all this fundraising energy was being challenged to a researcher who in a moment said, I've got it. Has all that collective energy channeled the one mind to their thinking? And it all in that moment seemed so plausible to me. Unity offers a simple approach for understanding how spiritual law works. And it's also in this book. We can never really understand the truth of Jesus Christ until we give up once and for all the idea of caprice or favoritism in the universe. And until we cease to pray to receive without giving, or to be forgiven when we haven't changed our own attitudes. So as long as we believe in a God who interferes with nature to please someone who is asked a favor, we will not have the strength of faith upon which to build our lives. Rabbi Kushner, in his bestseller book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People, takes exactly the same stance. God is not out there playing favorites, dealing with consequences and doling out favor. Kushner asserts, life would be too unpredictable in that format. Natural and spiritual laws are in place. Another, nature abhors a vacuum. So when you joyfully give of yourself, you create an empty space that nature and the spirit rushes to fill back in. My wife Cindy and I were professional colleagues before we got married. And in an exchange one day, she noted that the core value of my company is based upon free sharing of information on what we do, how we do it, best practices within the industry. She suggested that this practice contribute to the success of our business. Mendino, in his classic book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, offers 10 scrolls of ancient wisdom on success in life. The first line of the second scroll is, I greet this day with love in my heart. I read this for the first time in 1982, and I've reread it many times since then. The law of reciprocity states that we get what we give. So, whatever it is you want more of in your life, begin by giving some of it away. Step onto your freedom trail and recall, how have you used the laws to guide your spiritual freedom to a more abundant life? Now the last, number 5, don't miss the present moment. Religious views often hold forth some promise of existence beyond the here and now, beyond the temporal, and afterlife, a next stage. And why don't we want to get there quicker? What's with our desire to prolong life and postpone joy? It's an interesting paradox. Yet the more we focused on the next, the more we lose from the now. My mother was a writer. A weekly column in a newspaper for over 20 years and 5 books. Let me share the introduction from her second book, Don't Miss the Present Moment. I have always found myself attracted to people with the delightful quality of finding pleasure in the discovery of the present moment. There aren't enough of them. Speed and boredom are 2 enemies that seem to get in the way of developing this enriching kind of awareness. When we race through life or curl up in the neutral quilt of boredom, we tend to miss much of the mystery of what is happening as well as the beauty that is all around us. We are a composite of all the lives that touch us, what we see and hear and share and learn from one another in some way becomes a part of who we are. There are opportunities at each day to stimulate, to imitate, to make us reach or smile or weep, and to give us peace. My newspaper work and shared daily life experiences have afforded nice exposure to some of the beauty, humor, observations, and inspiration that come from the lives of real people. This anthology gives examples to show that enjoying the present moment is an attitude worth cultivating. Life can indeed be more than an endless round of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. See, my mother remarried and took on 3 more kids, and so with 9, there was a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Thich Nhat Hanh, well known for his invitation to be mindful and present, suggests simple practices like when doing the dishes, get in touch with the soap, the quality of the suds, the texture of the dish. And I have to say, I have often marveled at the power of water to dissolve food stuck on my dishes. But what gets in the way of being present, being here now? Hades, as used in the Bible, is often misinterpreted, improperly translated as hell, when in fact its root word from Greek means a state of being unable to see good. As a pair of opposites, that might suggest heaven is the ability to clearly see through to the good in all. What's your life like when you are unable to see the good in it? A close friend from college, unfortunately, is challenged to see good. Talking with her is a reminder that indeed there are many ways to see any subject. However, when I listen to her describe in detail how wrong, how broken, how unfair, how poorly, yada, 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 everything that surrounds her, I wonder how she gets up in the morning. I align her view as Hades, hell on earth, now in the flesh. But there are alternatives. The Greek word of the root of the word heaven is Uranos, which means expanding. You see, heaven is that seed, that germ inside each one of us the potential of that Christ-like nature, which holds the potential for perfect health, perfect happiness, joy, and abundance. Our youngest daughter is a twin. They were born very premature at 26 weeks. Colleen was 1 pound, Megan was 2 pounds. The nurses in the NICU invited us to bring in music to play to them. Two days later, our tiny Colleen made her transition. On my way to the hospital that morning, I thought about how hard it was going to be to share this sad news with people. In moments like this, people want to do something, send flowers, make a contribution, come forward and offer compassion. I got thinking about the music. It all had happened so fast, I didn't have time to take music down there. And then I asked, well, if the hospital knows that music is valuable, why don't they have it? And in that moment, I created the Colleen Kreider Murphy Music Trust. And within 1 year, a complete sound system had been installed in the NICU to play music for the babies and their families on their healing journey. And being present, I got curious. I asked a rhetorical question, but came up with a practical idea, one my mother called divine inspiration. I was connected to the one mind, and I put an idea into action using natural and spiritual laws, and I brought forth abundance for all the lives in that neonatal intensive care unit. Am I sad Colleen had a short life? Absolutely. However, I have a more uplifting way to view her life. I see the good from it. And now once again, pause. Stand firmly grounded on your freedom trail and reflect on the good in your life. What do you have to be grateful for? What's going on in your life that deserves a clear vision to its goodness? Practice seeing life from this point of view. And now in closing, your spiritual path can be enriched by practicing these 5 methods. Practice open-mindedness to the relentless stream of truth, learn and adapt. Practice curiosity, ask questions. Be as innocent as a child and keep asking why. Practice putting ideas into action. You and your right thinking can transform and shower abundance into your life. Practice the use of spiritual and natural laws. From an attitude of joy, give first. Forgive first. Love first. And the law of reciprocity will fill you up and overflow in you. With these practices, you will feel more confident in the uncharted stretches of your freedom trail. We are all one, of the same source. We all possess that same seed of greatness, that potential for being Christ-like that Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, the Dalai Lama, and so many other role models have gone before us, allowing their greatness to unfold. They've figured it out. You can too. Step forward on your freedom trail. Take a bold step forward.